All right, so let me just recapitulate where we left off last week, and there's going to be a huge amount of life lessons, and I hope to give a number of shiurim on Rosh, because I think the women will get to understand themselves from Rosh. Elimelech, with his two sons, ran out of Israel because there was a famine in the land. They married two Moabite girls. They lived there for 10 years, and afterwards, Naomi decides, she hears there's no longer a famine in Israel, she wants to go back. And she tries to encourage her daughters to go back to their homes and to their gods. And actually, after much encouragement, Orpah leaves and returns to her home and her parents. And Naomi says to Ruth, why don't you follow your sister-in-law? They're two sisters married to two brothers. And she said, no, I'm staying where you are, wherever you sleep, I'll sleep, wherever you go, I'll go. I'm not going to separate from you. Only death will separate us. And even there, I'll be buried next to you. That's where we learn out all the laws of what you tell a convert. That the Talmud learns out what laws do you tell a convert. Where you sleep, I'll sleep means that there's a prohibition of yichud, going in private place with somebody that you're not married to. Where you go, I'll go. That's the laws of Shabbos, how far you're allowed to walk on Shabbos. The Talmud learns out laws, which things, and after, when she still insists to go, then you stop. We learn that law out also. When the potential convert is very insistent, you don't discourage her anymore. Well, apparently they weren't converted yet. So what kind of righteous woman is this? What kind of righteous men are they? And they're not related to her. If they're goyim, they're not related to her at all. Right? They're not related to her. They didn't convert. So if your son marries a shiksa, that's not your daughter-in-law. They're not converted. They're not related at all. That was one question we dealt with. The other question we dealt with was, how could King David allow himself to marry his son Amnon to marry his daughter Tamar? Because Tamar was his daughter from a Yefas Torah, and so Tosfos says from there, that he was not the father. When David took the mother Macha, he didn't realize that she was pregnant. And then afterwards, she had a baby that was really with a different father, so they weren't brother and sister. But Rashi says on the Gemara, they're brother and sister. So what does it mean? You're allowing your son to marry his sister. There's no permission for a son to marry a sister. But the main question is, our sages say, Rus is the mother of Malchus. She's the mother of the Jewish Melech HaMashiach. Melech HaMashiach has no connection to Rus. Has no connection to Sodom. Melech HaMashiach is found in Sodom. And no connection to Sodom. Because she's a convert. So she herself has no connection to her people. I think these are the questions we worked on, right? And how far did we get? We got to the point of, you're allowed that if you don't have there's a difference between being converted Israeli and to the Jewish people. That's where we left it off, right? Converted to Israeli means that you want to be a member of the Jewish people, but not the Jewish religion. And these were girls that wanted to be part of the Jewish people. How do we know that? Because why did they run there? What was the reason that they ran there? They ran there, the Rambam says they were Gedolei Hador. They were the greatest Jews of the generation, Machlon and Chilyon. Also, the children were the great. When they married shiksas, the whole thing doesn't resonate. So we said that we brought that the law is that the Jewish court, that's a high tribunal, the Sanhedrin, doesn't convert anybody when the Jews are living very successful. That's why they didn't make converts. But the Bezdin of Hedyotis and court comprised of individuals, of lay people, they did convert people, and they waited to find out how they're going to turn out. And since they turned out as shiksas, that they didn't accept the conversion normally, therefore Shimshon is considered to be married to Delilah, which was called a shiksa, even though she's not a shiksa. And Shlomo is considered married to the daughter of Shmuel, the daughter of Paro, even though she's not. But the Torah calls them that because they were responsible for the idolatry of their heathen wives. And nevertheless, the Rambam says that their children are Jewish. Their children are Jews. Children are full Jews, remember the Jewish people, and your children and your grandchildren are Jewish. That's what we said so far, right? It's worthwhile hearing that again. I don't want to go through it again, but just to get the context. This morning, what I want to do is explain what's the difference between an Israeli and a Jew. What's the difference between being a member of the Jewish religion and the Jewish people? Jewish people, we say, do not need to accept any of the mitzvahs. There's no Kabbalah's mitzvahs. There's no accepting mitzvahs to be a member of the Jewish people. To be a member of the Jewish religion, then you have to accept 613 mitzvahs. What's the difference? Let me read you what Maimonides says in the laws of Hilchos Deos. This is the laws regarding Jewish values, Jewish perspectives. He says like this, a fascinating thing. In chapter 6, he says the following thing. Chapter 6, Law 3, in the laws of Mada, Jewish Book of Knowledge, it's called, in English. It's a mitzvah on every person to love every other Jew as himself. As it's written, love your friend like yourself. Yohavto l'reacha kamocha. Lefichach, therefore, what does it mean? How do you express love? Tzorech l'saper b'shvacho. I have to tell everybody how wonderful he is. Ulochus al mamono, and have to be very careful that his money doesn't get destroyed. Just the way you think about you're protective of your money, and you want and you want yourself to be respected. Just like you want respect and you don't want to lose money, so on every other Jew you have to be careful about his respect, and also you want to make sure he doesn't suffer loss of money. And if somebody takes pleasure from somebody else's embarrassment, you lose your share in the world to come. Pretty strong. Every Jew, we have to be concerned about their honor, talk nicely about them, and we have to be concerned if they're going to suffer a loss of money. You're walking in the street and you see somebody left their lights on, maybe the battery will run out and he'll lose money. You should either shut it yourself or if you can't get into the car, or it looks like you're breaking into somebody's car, you go to shul or wherever they live, you left your batteries on, you left your lights on. You'll save $5. You will want someone to do that for you. You don't like losing $5. You should do that for another Jew too. That's by every Jew. Ava Sager, the love you have to feel for a convert. Sheba v'nichnas tachas kanfei Shechina, is coming under the wings of the Almighty, of the Shechina, the divine presence. There's two mitzvahs. One is because he's included in other Jews. That's one mitzvah. You have the mitzvah of v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, and therefore you have to, whatever you owe another Jew, you owe him. Secondly, because it says v'ahavta sager, the Torah says you should love the convert. And what does that mean? God commanded you on loving a convert the way he commanded you to love himself, capital H. The way you have to love a convert is the way you love yourself. The way you love God. God loves converts, and you have to